Welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified show. Today we're going to be doing a live Q&A. This doesn't have to be Cakewalk related. This can be anything music production. It can be anything music related. It can even be Ask Me Anything. So I'm opening this up. Basically, the doors are wide open for whatever you might want to ask if you just want to hang out today. It's one of those things where today I tried to get so much accomplished and was thwarted on every hand. I'm still trying to export a video. I gave up on it. The audio sounded like trash, and the music program or the video editing program I use in order to upgrade it would cost me over $400. I can't afford that. So we might be waiting a while on that next video. For those of you that are here though, give you a little sneak peek about what the video is going to be. The next video I'm going to be uploading here shortly, hopefully, is going to be a my raw reaction, as well as a mix and production breakdown of Michael Jackson's Blood on the Dance Floor. So hopefully I can get in between them, maybe even get a music program that actually works, or a video editing program that actually works. I don't know. We'll find out. But that's coming up shortly. That's what I've been spending the majority of my day with, getting that edited, uploaded. It's over 33 minutes long, but I really dive into the song and give a raw reaction to a song that honestly I'd never even heard before. And imagine that it blew me away. If this is your first time here, and I see we do have some first timers, so let's give them a big round of applause. Maybe you're wondering what's going on here. Well, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. The motto around here is that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, and a lot of times we do. But together, we can achieve so much more. And there are tons of people already in the chat who have benefited from that togetherness. I see some individuals here that are really just staples around here. Mob the Gamer, 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗃 Shots, DJ Big Red 81, Mark George, Doughboy, who's actually just started coming on these streams a lot more often. And then I also see some newbies, so that's good. It's definitely good having each and every one of you. Along the same lines of appreciation, I gotta give a shout out every single time we have one of these shows. This is getting to the point where it's a good problem to have. I can't update this thing fast enough. In the last couple of weeks, I've had more Patreon members come in than I can even keep track of. So I'm gonna have to go back and update this. I may have to make 2 screens for it. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But thank you all so much. Whether you're a member here on the channel by using the join button, or you have signed up for a monthly Patreon membership, which just gives back basically just a way of repaying me for the time that's invested in trying to help individuals. I love each and every one of you. I think I have definitely seen a lot of growth in each and every one of you as well. And we've got there together. Mob the Gamer says, remember when you had only 3? Yeah, I do actually. We definitely came from some humble beginnings, but we are getting there. Now, a lot of these individuals who have signed up are $1 a month Patreon members, so that any little bit helps. You don't have to give, $10, $20 a month, although some of them do. You'll see these names along the top. These are the largest donators to the channel. I believe James Sheets is actually donated $20 a month, and then he's also given over the years various different times with PayPal donations, and also asked me to mix some of his projects. Gordon Grinnell just jumped on, and man, he's been supporting like crazy. Chris Knowles, he's been a supporter now pretty much ever since we started really doing these mix contests, the live streams and stuff like that. So each and every one of these individuals, though, is very important, and I thank you all for giving in some way, shape, or form. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored in part by the 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗃 Academy. The 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. Okay, so surprise, I'm wearing a blue shirt today instead of a black one. Yeah, let's go ahead and open up the forum now. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, if it's music related, if it's, you can ask me anything, honestly. And then I'll do my best attempt to answer those as they come in. Until then, though, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to bring up a session here that I'm working on, and I don't think, just so that we can have Cakewalk handy in case you guys have Cakewalk questions. I don't think I have one that currently right now. Let's see, that I could use without the artist's permission. Let me look at one here that maybe I have done in the past. Here we go. How about this one here? I blend in very well. Yeah, it's my chameleon suit. Yes, Mob the Gamer, yes. So recently, Mob found out that with a new update, he lost access to some of the VSTI instruments. And if I go through here, let me just bring up the old desktop with the webcam. Yeah, if I go through here, let me bring that question up so we can get that sort of front and center here. Oh my goodness, that's, yeah, I just revamped the stream. We're now streaming in 1080 by 1920 by 1080. We're moving up in the world. So there are going to be some things that are off just a bit. We'll fix those as we go. No problem there. Okay, so he's asking if I still have the Cakewalk instrument VSTI that we talked about. Now, from what he ran into, there was some VSTI instruments that were actually missing with the most recent update. And if I'm not mistaken, I still have access to them. And those were the SI drum kit, which stands for Studio Instruments. Let's see if that comes up. Yep, there it is. So yeah, that's still there. And I wonder if that's not because I have the previous installation of Sonar Platinum in here. I don't know. That may or may not be the reason why. So as far as I know though, Mob, I have all of the instruments that were there to begin with that I still have. Let's see. Yeah, Studio Instruments Base is still there. The TTS1, Strum Session, Cyclone even. These were loopers that were actually built into Cakewalk back in the day. Everybody's always like, Cakewalk doesn't have a looper. Actually, yeah, it does. It's just not widely known about. Let's see. Yeah, Cyclone, this was one of them. Yeah, these are old school right here. They even look very dated, you can tell. And then, let's see, what was the other one? Oh, you were talking about the strings, yeah. Yep, still there. Samplers. Still have Drop Zone. This was another old Cakewalk edition that went away. But yeah, this is a sampler. A lot of people are always asking for a sampler. Well, guess what? it's got one. If you own the old one. Okay. So currently I'm running off of the HSS Sheen theme. It's a different theme than I normally run off of. I am going to go back to the other one though, because it's honestly, this isn't me. I like it, but this isn't me. That's more like it. There we go. Got to have that blue up in there. Yeah, so this is the scratch track of the song that I wrote for my wife. I just realized when I brought this up. Definitely don't want to hear that. Okay, let's see here. You were asking about the strings and I got sidetracked here. Yep, they're still there. And then here's all the synths. Let me find which one. The RGC Audio Square 32-bit and Rapture, those used to come with Cakewalk as well as Dimension Pro. That's actually a really good synth. And then let's see. Yeah, these strings are amazing though. I definitely agree with you. Your Cakewalk instruments have gone too. That's not cool. And I don't think they even told anybody that that was going to happen either. I hope they got a plan for that. Those actually sound really good. They're still working on my end, but like I said, I've got old installations of Sonar Platinum, so that might be why I'm still have access to those. I'm not sure. Looks like I had another question in here. I want to make sure I get to that though. So Doughboy, he says, oops. Doughboy says that he, says, I love recording in Cakewalk, just not so much for making beats. There are several individuals here on YouTube who are making beats, and they're doing a really good job at it. Bongonzo and 𝗚𝗏.𝐿.O's channel. They're both doing a great job at it. If you haven't checked them out, you definitely want to go and check out what they're doing. These guys are doing an awesome job. Thought that sounded weird. There's something going on there. There we go. That's better. Check 1, check 2. That doesn't sound right. There it is. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I had something going on there. All right, so let's go ahead and check that out. He says, I follow them all. Okay, cool. If there's anybody that can teach you how to make beats, though, it's them individuals. They're definitely doing a good job at it. Cakewalk needs to update their piano roll and step sequencer. Yes, I agree. Mars, the second Genesis, hi from Scotland. Ooh, my people. My last name is McClellan. That is definitely Scottish if I've ever heard one. Thank you so much, TMK Media. He says, the knowledge you give is priceless. Thank you. Kamikaze Shots asked the question, do you think you should upgrade yet then or not? So that's, honestly, that's up to you. If I've updated and didn't lose anything, but however, there are individuals who don't have previous installations of Sonar Platinum that are saying that they're losing stuff. So, yeah, that's up to you. If you have VSTI instruments or you have an old installation of Sonar, I would definitely give it a shot. I haven't seen anything on the forums either about that. So you think they would let their insiders know what was going on, but unfortunately some things never change. Let me see if that's, I might have to swallow my words here. I'm almost positive though that I have not heard of anything on the forum, so let's check it. Oh goodness, that's the old forum. Okay, so under news and announcements, yeah, that's not been updated since 2019. Wow. The early access program, maybe it's in here. Okay, so 1 hour ago, there was some question asked. And by the way, the forum looks like this. A lot of these can't start BandLab Assistant, grayed out stuff. Yeah, but it doesn't say anything in here about people losing instruments. Let's see if I type in VSTI instruments, if that brings up something there. Evidently nobody's talking about it. That's weird. So I wonder if it's not just you all. It better not be. It would almost seem as if they were pinpointing and targeting my audience. How dare they? Let me post it in the general forum here and see if it brings up anything. Nope, same stuff. Yes, so yeah, not anybody on the forum saying that they're having problems with losing anything. So hey gang, sorry to be late to the party. No problem, buddy. 𝗧𝗍𝗂 says he's late to the party. It's fine. We're just hanging out tonight. We don't have anything really planned. As I was explaining when the stream first started, I've been thwarted on every hand today to try to get something accomplished, and meant to do the live stream a lot earlier. I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and send this video out. It's already been edited. I'm going to go ahead and send it out and get it posted real quick, and then I'll go live. There's nothing real quick about it. Yeah, I've tried to export it about 50 times now, and it is over 550 gigabytes. So it keeps getting aired out like right when it's like 2% from being done, because it's filling up my hard drive. So yeah, no biggie there. So Matt asks, is this replacing Sonar Producer? Actually, yes. This is, hey Tim, what's up? So this is basically what you're looking at right now, this is Cakewalk by BandLab, which is essentially Cakewalk Sonar Platinum. Now, obviously it's missing a few things that Platinum had as far as third-party plugins and things like that. But if you own older versions of Cakewalk, such as Producer or, you know, Platinum or something like that, you still get to retain all of those things. As we've already seen here on today's stream, I've actually still got access to a lot of these things that, for the most part, a lot of people don't have access to still. Got a strange request from Mob here. Josh, this is actually free. Yes. Mob is requesting that I sing a song live. I've never done that on the stream. Not opposed to doing it. But definitely never done it on the stream. I don't even know if I could do that, honestly. Let's see here. Let's go with date modified. There we go. So if you go and you want to go and download this, I will put a link here for you, and this will actually be, now the link that I'm going to provide is not the link from the website. This is going to be an actual straight download link for the program itself. So if you're getting this and it looks like, well, this is coming from a Google Drive, that's because it literally is. And the reason why I'm doing that is because a lot of people are having issues with the installer and they still have yet to fix it. So you can use this installer. This is like an older version, but as soon as you get it installed, you can immediately go and update that if you want to. If you don't, you know, that's fine too. You can leave it in its old state if you'd like, and it'll work just fine. But if you want any of the bug fixes and any of the fancy frills and whatnot that's been added since then, you can just go ahead, install it from this link that I'm giving you now, and then update it from there. So let me see if this might take a while. So Tim Consley says he had no problems with the update. Good deal. Everybody's saying they're late to the party. It's fine. Not really a time thing right now. We're just hanging out. Midnight Blue Movie says, sorry to hear some people are having issues with the latest version of Cakewalk. I updated the other day and everything is okay for me. Midnight Blue, let me ask, did you have a copy of Sonar Platinum or anything like that installed whenever you installed Cakewalk by BandLab? Because it kind of seems like that's the determining factor in whether or not people are having problems. It's like individuals that have like just Cakewalk by BandLab, fresh installed, never owned any of the older versions, are the ones that seem to be having the most problems. So that's a good point, DJ. Some of the plugins will not work or show up as a demo unless you update. So that's a good point. As far as how old is old, I think the link that I provided is actually a rather old install. Tim Consley says he had no problem with the most recent update either. Really? So Midnight Blue has only had the BandLab version, and he's not experiencing any issues. That's weird. So I wonder if it doesn't have to do with... So Mob, you're in the chat. You're an individual who's saying that you were having problems missing VSTI instruments. I'm assuming that your computer is up to date. So, man, that's weird. It's like it's only affecting certain people and not others. And that's probably why it's not in the forum, because it's just few and far between and nobody's really spoke up about it. Mark George, how old is old? Oh, talking about what version it is. Speaking of which, I want to go ahead and clear the air about something, especially while Tim is here. The other day, whenever we were doing the live mix together, and I was talking about how he's an older gentleman and his vocal cords aren't. Let me just clear the air there that I was not trying to be mean or malicious in any way, shape, or form, and call him an old man or an old get off my lawn type of guy. But what I was just saying was that his vocals were older, older sounding. But he, by no means, you're only as old as what you think you are. So I didn't mean any maliciousness or anything by that whenever I was talking about that. And likewise, whenever I thought about that later, when I was bringing up the Melodyne issue, and I said, Melodyne can't work miracles. That was not in reference to what he was singing. That was in reference to, in fact, even whenever I said it, I had a specific artist that came in the studio not too long ago and wanted me to put Melodyne on them and thought that was going to fix everything. And I even told that person then, face to face, Melodyne does not do miracles. But we had no problem tuning Tim's vocals the other day, and the song was great. I think it turned out really well. Honestly, I wish there was a little bit more I could have done on it to make it a little bit better. In my personal opinion, I did a good job in my personal opinion, but I think there were just some automation things that when I went back and listened to it, I was like, probably should have done those things. The cool thing about doing these online mix sessions, other than the fact that you guys get to sort of have a over the shoulder look and actually get to see what I'm doing firsthand instead of, wondering what happened, and you get to ask questions. It sort of forces me to focus on big wins because, I don't want to sit here for 6.5 hours and bore you guys to tears mixing a song. So I'm trying to sort of fly through these mixes real quickly. Now, whenever it's client work, I'm not going to spend, 2 hours on a mix. I'm going to probably spend 3 or 4 hours. And at that 2 hour mark is usually when I'll start really diving into the sound structure as far as reference materials and stuff like that. And that's the other aspect of this that I wanted to make mention to you guys. I can't really do the reference materials on the live streams because immediately I'm going to get all kinds of flags. And I like to pull my reference material from well-mixed, well-produced albums that are already released. So whenever I fly in my reference materials to listen alongside what I've done, a lot of times, that has to be done sort of off camera. So don't ever think like whenever you watch these live streams and you're watching me mix and I get to that point, don't ever be like, wow, he's done with it. That was it. Because in most cases I am done with it, but in most cases I'm not. So in fact, there's a couple of them right now I'm working on right now for a client that we've been going back and forth now for 3 months trying to get these just right. And the style of music is like Nintendo-based 8-bit style music. Hopefully whenever he's happy with the final revisions that we're going to be sending over later tonight, hopefully we'll be able to actually showcase these for you guys so that you can hear them. They're super cool. So, okay, so I needed to clear the air about that. Thank you all for being understanding, allow me to clear the air and clear my conscience. I didn't want Tim to think in any way, shape, or form, or anyone here to ever think that I'm making fun or being malicious or degrading in any way, shape, or form, because I would hope by now that you guys know me well enough to know that I'm not like that. But sometimes there's new people that pop in the stream, and I would hate for them to be here and be like, oh my goodness, this guy's a D-bag, So Kamikaze Shot says, I'm going to upgrade and test it. Awesome. And then Mob answered, yes, Windows 11, it's not an issue. It's just that the stock instruments are missing except the electric piano. Okay, so that might just be a simple thing of going back and reinstalling. And if that's the case, I might be able to actually help with that. Let me know if you actually would like them, Mob, if you want them back. If you can live without them, I mean, by all means, free up that space on your computer. But if you need them, I actually do have all of the old install files downloaded from the original website, and I've kept them now for years, simply just in case something like this happens. So with that being said, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Anyone who is a member of the HSS Collab group, I'm going to go ahead and post those files in the private Facebook group that we have. That way, if any of you want access to the old installation files, you have them, and I'm not just sitting on them. That's a good idea, Robert. Good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, I'll do that right now. So if you guys are looking for them, they'll be up there before this stream is even over. And it'll be super quick. All I'll have to do is just get a link from my G drive for that. And by the way, this also has extra little goodies in it. Now, some of these may not work if you don't have older versions of Cakewalk. However, they might. So yeah, these also have the impulse responses that were included with Sonar Platinum. So it's all the Craig Anderton synthetic impulse responses, as well as the Platinum Core plugins, the LP multiband, the LP EQ, the CA2A, Dimension Pro. And I have these set in order too. I have one that says install first, and then I have one that's called install last. So whenever you go there, make sure you're reading the file names before you just start downloading stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and post this link now. Make sure that it's shareable and anybody can download it. And even now, I'm over on the, going to go over here to the group. And by the way, guys, we reached another milestone today. We have crossed 18,000 subscribers. So we literally just had a 10,000 subscriber celebration. And today I looked down and I was blown away. I try not to check it too often because it's not about numbers with me. But here lately, I mean, I've been getting very excited. So I'll be honest, I've been checking a lot more than I have been. But I try not to check it. But today I looked at my phone on the YouTube Studio app and I was like, oh my goodness. In fact, if I was to check right now, just to give you a quick update, we are sitting at 18,115 subscribers. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. And I got a congratulatory email from Rob Wilson, who runs vidIQ. And apparently we have also crossed 1,500,000 views on the channel. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm posting these. Let's see. Please read the files before you install. This should help with any installation issues. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pin that too, so it'll be easy to be found. I'm going to pin that to the featured, so that'll be right there at the top. We do still currently have a 72-hour Black Friday flash sale going on right now as well. And that will end, I believe, tomorrow. Wait a minute, 16th, 17th, 18th, yeah. That will end tomorrow. It's an extra $15 off a one-on-one Skype call. And so you can click on this link here, and it'll take you straight to the PayPal Me app. And for $35, you can pay for an hour with me to ask anything privately, or we can run through a song together, whatever you would like to do. But that's currently $15 off. It's sort of a Black Friday flash sale going on. All right, those are posted in there. Likewise, if you're looking for the Michael Jackson multi-tracks, those are in this group as well. And they are up at the top of the screen under the featured tab. So, yep, there they are. Making sure that I'm not lying to you. You lie, you fry. Okay. Tim Consley says, my bandlab, though I never use it, won't update. Hasn't for a long time now. That's weird. Is the upgrade free? Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Midnight. I appreciate that. I was hoping that it wouldn't come across that way, but I wanted to make sure. Yes, the upgrade is free. Gary Werner says, when I pan to the left, I get absolutely nothing. If it's a stereo track and there's only information on the right side of that stereo track, you will not get anything if you pan it to the left. If it's a stereo track and there's no information on the left side, I would go ahead and just make that a mono track and save yourself the trouble. Then you can pan it left, right, center, wherever you want to pan it. Upgrade seems to work fine for me. Good deal. Says to date, does it update automatically? No, usually whenever you open it up, it'll show you down here in the right-hand corner of the screen in what's called a toast notification that you need to update. And then you can choose whether you want to update it or not. Still Windows 10. This was the 2021.11 build, and he's fine. Okay. We knew how much fun you had popping balloons during the celebration, Robert. So we're trying to get you to 25K so you can do it again. That's fine by me. That's a good question. So YouTube actually gave out a plaque, a bronze plaque, whenever you reached 10,000 subscribers, I believe it was. And then they quit doing that. So I think the only time you get plaques now are for 100,000 and for 1 million. And that's a silver and a gold plaque. And then you obviously, the next step, I say obviously, it's not obvious to everybody, but the next step is 10 million and you get a diamond plaque. Of course, it's not real diamond, but it kind of looks like one. Let me ask YouTube or Google rather. It's the same thing. There are 4 play buttons are awarded. Oh, that was back in 2019. I bet that's not even. That's probably not even plausible anymore. So silver, 100,000, gold, 1 million, diamond, 10 million, and a custom play button once you have 50 million. Yeah, so I won't even get a plaque at all until I get to 100,000, which is no biggie. I might even make my own. Oh, wow. Some creators claimed that they had received a bronze play button after reaching 100 subscribers. I wonder if it was really from YouTube or just somebody being nice. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm getting off in the weeds here. The plugins won't work. You need that exact version to install them. Ah, that stinks. Must I use a closed room to record? Tony, I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean. Can you be a little bit more specific? I wonder if it's related to Windows 11. Awesome. You know, with all of the free plugins that's on the market, to be honest, you don't necessarily even have to have them. So DJ Big Red 81, he's got a good question here. I almost missed out on it. It says, question, so if you become part of Patreon, you're then able to join the collab group on BandLab? No, you can actually join the collab group anytime. Patreon is just sort of a secondary thing where you get access to a ton of multi-tracks, personal multi-tracks, as well as some multi-tracks that have been donated. And then you also get access to a lot of cool free cheat sheets and behind the scenes videos, stuff like that. So as 𝗏𝗏 says, my dentist warned me about plaque. You guys are crazy. All right, let's see here. All right. I may even attempt to do this. Tony Umez says, what I mean is when recording my vocals and after mixing, it still sounds raw. I'm wondering if it's because I record with background noises. So that's a pretty good question. In all honesty, the background noises is probably not what's causing it to sound raw. It's just a lack of proper treatment to the vocal. And what I mean by that is like every vocal just being raw recorded with a microphone is going to sound very raw, like much like what it's sounding like right now. So if I was to sing, actually this is kind of a good live demonstration of this. So check this out. I'm going to sing the first few lines of this song just through the microphone, and what you're going to hear is a raw sounding vocal. And then I'm going to play you the vocal that's been treated with plugins, and then you can hear the difference there. So I don't know volume wise how this is going to happen, but here we go. The darkness of this present hour is ever looming. The pressure to perform is all-consuming. We bare our souls just to get a light and filter out these scars inside. Remember to subscribe and follow me. Wow. That didn't go over so well, but I tried. So that was a raw vocal being sung. Now listen to what the vocal sounds like with treatment on it. And what I mean by treatment is I've got a VX64 vocal strip that's giving it a de-essing compansion, which is a compression that's being added to it, as well as expansion, which is sort of turning it down whenever it's not singing. It also has a tad bit of delay on it. Then I've got Soothe 2 on there. So this Soothe 2 is actually helping to literally soothe the vocals. It's mainly being used as a de-esser. Again, it's just a little more subtle. And then I have the CA2A on there, which is leveling everything out and just bringing up the levels and making it less dynamic in a good way. So whenever you put all of these things on there, this is the sampling that you get from that. Let me bring it up here. The darkness of this present hour is ever looming. The pressure to perform is all-consuming. So as you can see, it sounded very different. It sounded more polished, more professional. So Tony Umez also asks another question. He says, do you use, let me bring this up on the screen for everybody to see here, so you don't necessarily have to be in the chat. Do you use FL Studio or any other software? If any other, which is it? Good question. So typically speaking, I mainly stay within the Cakewalk sphere of things because I can get everything accomplished in Cakewalk. Mixing, mastering, recording, beat making, sampling, whatever it might be, I can get it all done within Cakewalk. However, there are things from time to time that I will actually fly over and use Audacity for. Literally, the one thing that I use Audacity for is either recording audio off of a YouTube video that I need to add into another video, recording some kind of a just quick like voiceover. If I don't want to open up Cakewalk and open up a project and do all that, I can just open up Audacity very quickly, record a quick voiceover and send it out, or like a voice answer to a question. The other thing that I might use Audacity for, which I use, well, I say might, the other thing that I use Audacity for mainly though, is the noise removal feature. You can actually bring up like an electric guitar, for instance, and you've got that mic, the amp hum rather. You can actually get a sound snippet of that, and it will get a footprint of that sound and then remove it from the entire track. If you do it lightly, you don't even hardly hear it, and it doesn't completely remove it, but it takes it down so much that it just makes it a little bit more pleasing. So good question though. Hope I answered it to the best of my ability there. Hey, home studio, can you please do a YouTube video on CD runtime, like why every single song starts at 0 and stop when the audio is complete? So usually that comes down to how you export the song. So as you can see on this one right here, this dark gray area, if I can zoom in here, this darker gray area right here, all of this is the area that's going to be exported. And you can see here's the end of the export right here. However, where it stops, you'll notice this is the stopping point. And this is usually done on the mastering side of things, where they'll fly all of the songs that have been mixed into a session, and they will start them all at 0. And then they will end them all at the times, fade them out, whatever they need to do. And then from there, they can literally just get those tracks to come out at from 0 to whenever they might be. And what that means is they've got separate tracks that's being flown out. So if I was to take this song as well as maybe 3 or 4 other songs that was on an EP and export them all that way, they would all play together. But if I export them separately as separate WAV files, then they're going to all start at 0 and end at whatever time that they might be. Awesome. So Mark George still has the vocal strip. DJ, got a huge question for Home Studio Simplified. And also, will you do a YouTube video on CD runtime, why every song starts at, which is binary, 0, 0, and then ends like, say, on the difference between an album and a single and an EP. Okay, so that's a good question too. So typically speaking, an album, when you go back to those days of, the days of actually cutting albums were typically like 10 to 12 songs. So this was a pretty lengthy project. And this is why recording studios back then would usually get like $1 million allowances, because they knew we're going to be spending months, maybe even years, on making an album, depending on the artist, how much help they would need, or how, if they were touring or not, would they be able to be back in the studio at this time. So there was a lot of factors that played in there, but an album was typically 10 to 12, sometimes even more songs, whereas an EP was a shortened version of an album. So old EPs were actually smaller than records, and so they didn't hold as much information, and so therefore they would have fewer songs. So EPs are usually like 3 to 4 songs, and then a single is literally just one single song that's released into the public. Now, with that being said, The thing that I would recommend for artists these days is to just release singles. Yes, you can put out albums, you can put out EPs if you'd like, but a lot of times people are more apt to just go and download a single, and it actually alleviates some of the pressure off of you as an artist too, to have to come up with all of these songs and then release them all, and you're waiting all of this time. You have your fans waiting all of this time to try and, you know, wait for you to push out something that may take longer. Whereas, you know, with a single, you can release it tomorrow if it's done. And then if you'd like, you can even take those singles, put them all on an EP and release it again as an EP. And you could call it the best of or something like that. So there's a lot of different takes on it. It also depends on what area you're from, because I know like back in the days of, you know, like Rush and many bands like that, it seemed as if some of their albums was just a continuation, like one album led into another album, led into another. It was almost like they were building this sequel that ran off of the initial idea, and then the next album was a sequel to that album, and then the next album was a sequel to that album. You look at Led Zeppelin, for instance, that's another good one. They had the Led Zeppelin, and then they had Led Zeppelin 1 and 2. So times have changed, though, and unfortunately, artists don't have the same privileges that they had back then, because we don't have $1 million budgets anymore. The record companies have found out a way to pretty much completely rob anyone of being paid well. So now artists are forced to release singles pretty much because they don't have the ability to quit their jobs and just do what they love to do, which is create music. Okay. Try getting 𝗬𝗍𝗄s RX and you'll be able to do all that in Cakewalk. Yes, I actually use 𝗬𝗍𝗄 RX, and that's under my tools menu right here. I got declick, declip, dehum, denoise. Works very well too. And honestly, to your point, I really haven't had to leave Cakewalk for a long time because of that. But when I do use Audacity, it's mainly for that reason. Tony, thank you so much, man. I don't know about making them sound beautiful, but if you all look at Bongonzo's community, he has advertised a company that has made all of their plugins for free. Oh, sweet. So Luke also asks why mastering plays a huge role for CD runtime. So mastering, essentially, when you hand it off to a mastering engineer, they take all of your mixed tracks, and then they are the last step, the last quality step, sort of like QA before it gets out into the world. And so typically speaking, they will make sure that there's no clicks at the beginning, no pops or anything like that throughout the entirety of the track. And they also will, with the artist's direction, make sure that it fades out at the right time. A mastering engineer also has a very attuned ear to know when the song should end. Some songs should not end abruptly. Some songs actually need that fade out time. And even if they do cut off abruptly, there might be a reverb tail or something that plays out for a while. And if you cut it off immediately, it sounds choppy. It just sounds like it was a mistake. So a mastering engineer will take all of those finished mixes, master them to all make them sound close to the same, and also get them to sound up to industry standard loudness on a wide variety of sources. So the mastering engineer, why that plays such a huge role in CD runtime, is because they have that last quality inspection step of actually setting how long each track is going to be. Now, obviously, you can do that whenever you're mixing and mastering your own songs. And if I was to pull up a mastering session, quote unquote, all I would have to do is literally just fly in all of the finished tracks into a project and then export them as, single multi-tracks, but it would be actual mastered singles, each one of them. Hope that makes sense. I think I kind of talked in circles there, but that's okay. Okay. Took him more than 3 seconds. He mixed it for a long time. Yes, I did. had RX, but I decided to delete it because I got the waves distortion. Oh, nice. Layer of the Alchemist made a YouTube video on CD runtime on YouTube. Hopefully you will check it out. Okay. Hocus Pocus, mix my vocals. RX is great for removing clicks and pops on a track caused by patching in mistake removals. Yes. So vinyls and cassettes players, typically speaking, they didn't have that baked in time like they do in the CD world, because that's when digital audio took over. On analog audio, you had a tape that literally played from one side of that tape, that ribbon, all the way to the other side of the ribbon. And it only stopped whenever you told it to. So there was no need for it to have a specific time, because you were in control of when it stopped. And it was the same thing on the vinyl. That vinyl would spin and spin and spin until it got to the end, and then the needle would rise up and come back over and you were done. But when it came to the digital world, well, now we had CDs that would play a song and allow you to pick whether you wanted to go from one song to another or stop it, or you could even play one song on repeat. So can you do a YouTube breakdown of the Scott Storch beat for Dr. Dre's classic, Still Dre? Yeah, if I can get access to that, that'd be nice. Mark George, hit that like button. Why the CD player in another country speaks English, but the lyrics book list is in English and Japanese, or any other country? Why does it happen like that? Not really sure. I think it just depends on where you get it. So I'm trying to learn how to become a producer. Any tips on how to get started? Oh, that's a great question. So one of the things that I've been talking about with the Rocket Fuel mixing bundle members, individuals who are in sort of a intrinsic class with me as of right now, if you're just starting out, the main thing that you want to focus on is getting to know your gear better. So before you run out and buy a bunch of stuff that you may or may not need, use what you have first and get as good as you possibly can with what you have. Then from there, start to think outside the box. So whatever you're currently producing, whatever you use a lot, whatever kind of sound that you're typically producing a lot, try to sort of go center field, left field, right field every once in a while. And what I mean by that is, if you are a hip hop producer and you're making boom bap beats, if you want to still stay in your same lane, but you want to do something different, maybe go down that road of some old school hip hop, some grunge hop, maybe go down that road of doing some kind of a pop hop even. But even if you want to get even better than that, go completely outside that lane, do something with a singer-songwriter type style, do something that's jazz infused, something like that. That's going to help to build your chops and to help you get a appreciation and a better understanding for all things music. However, with that being said, the first tip to get started would be to just do more of what you love. So the best teacher, and I've just recently told this to my students in the class, the best teacher is repetition. The second best teacher is making mistakes, because you can learn from those two teachers better than you can learn from a million YouTube videos. And I say that without any equivocation. I know it kind of shoot myself in the foot here. Don't watch my videos. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, if you want to take your production level and you want to amplify it, do more of it, a lot of it, make mistakes, and then whenever you make those mistakes, learn from them. After you've made your mistakes and you've learned from those mistakes, then and only then will you actually start to actually realize, okay, now my skill set has outgrown what I currently own. Now I think it's time for me to buy a better microphone. I think it's time for me to buy an MPC machine that can help me make beats more. I think it's time for me to actually upgrade and start investing back in yourself. So, and then the third biggest thing that I would say is find yourself an online or a personal mentor. Okay. So whatever kind of mentor that you can find that's going to help you to prosper. Someone that actually has your best interests at heart, not someone who just wants to use you, not someone who, you know, they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. Find you someone who really has the proof in the pudding, so to speak, and get down to the brass tacks with that individual and say, hey, I'm willing to learn, teach me. Because that's the thing that honestly took me from here to here, okay? Here to here. You guys are cracking me up in the chat. Thank you, by the way, for keeping the language down. We do try to keep this as clean as possible of a channel, because there are younger people that watch this, and I want to make sure that I'm displaying a good example for everyone involved. And it is okay that someone disliked the video. Every single time I have a video, I have at least one dislike, and I don't know who it is, but they're entitled to that. It's fine. In fact, what I found out from my years of doing this is whenever you start to bring the dislikers out of the woodwork, that means you've made it. In fact, I'm getting ready to do a video, I think, where I'm going to start addressing some of the not so kind comments. I just got a couple today, actually, that I kind of chuckled to myself, because used to they would hurt my feelings, and I would get all down in the mouth and be like, man, why'd they say that? I put so much time in that video. Why'd they say? And now I'm just like, must have been having a bad day, and pray for them and move on. So, all right. So hopefully that answers your question, Ronnie. Do more of what you love. Do a ton of it. Make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, because they're going to happen. And then find yourself a good mentor, someone that can take you under their wing and show you the ropes. It doesn't have to be me. I would love to do it, but it doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody. And I would even go a step farther and say, if there's somebody that's close to you that you have one-on-one interaction with, that would be great. It doesn't even matter if they're online either. I mean, one of my favorite mentors is online. So, and you all know who it is. I'm not even going to say. I get the fanboy syndrome going on again. So, great question though. Luke is firing away with these questions about the full length and the CD runtimes, man. He is. Okay, so difference between a full length EP, 7 and 12 inch, as well as CD runtime. That's the YouTube video for CD runtime. Oh, okay. I appreciate that. So Doughboy says, should I use the console emulator for every vocal track to get an analog input up front? I actually use it across all of my tracks. So I don't know of any mixes that I've done here recently where I did not use console emulation in one way, shape, or form. But if I'm going to use it, I use it on all of the tracks, because that's where you actually get the best, most pleasing sound. It's just like trying to run it through some sort of a console. Every single track on that console had that console sound. And so as you run it through every single track, you get the buildup of the console. Those frequencies, the harmonics that you would normally get, it's only going to come whenever you have several instances of that. Mark George says, okay, everyone, question, CD or records? Both. Who wouldn't like this video? Show yourself. That's crazy. I would also suggest to learn the plugins you have now. Yes, even read the manuals before going out and buying more. Yes, definitely. Is it possible to master good piano melodies while creating a beat when I can't play an actual piano? I would think so. I mean, I have seen individuals, actually, we've got Mark George in the chat right now. Whenever he did his 10,000 subscriber celebration video that he sent in, he showed his setup, and it blew me away. I wasn't surprised in the sense that I didn't think it was possible. I was surprised in the sense that that's all he was using, because when you listen to his songs, it sounds like he's using tons of gear, like all over the room, like he's got synthesizers lined up on the walls. No, he had literally had like a small 𝗏 keyboard and, you know, his installation of Cakewalk, and that was it. So I absolutely think that there is nothing that's holding anybody back these days from creating good songs. Now, when it comes to creating melodies and not being able to actually play piano, that might definitely be a little bit of a learning curve. I know personally myself, I have an issue with that because I can play, but I can't play well. It's just like with drums as well. I mean, I can play drums a little bit, but I can't play well. I can play bass a little bit, but I can't play well. So with that being said, it would be, you know, there's tons of YouTube videos out there. YouTube is an awesome place to learn. And if you want to improve your mixing, your mastering, and your production skills, especially, obviously your production skills especially, go ahead and watch some videos and just, you know, like set aside some time once, 2 times, even 3 times a week to start watching some videos and taking some online lessons from YouTube. It's free. Okay. Thank you. 𝗦𝗵cie h𝗁𝗵𝗆. Hey, folks, we got another new first-timer here. Thanks for being in here. Okay, so I'm going to address this question, Doughboy. As much as I appreciate the applause, and I am definitely not in any way, shape, or form a Cakewalk god. I don't ever want to take that title. There are some, if you want to go and hang out on their channels, they have no problem doing that. But I do my best, and I try to present in a professional way. I do appreciate the comment, and I appreciate the fact that you ascribe to that, but I am definitely not any way, shape, or form a Cakewalk god. I wouldn't even consider myself a Cakewalk guru, or even an expert. I think I'm ever learning. And as much as I know, I try to share. So, but I'm constantly even learning from, you know, people on here as well. So, I do appreciate that though, but I cannot take that title. I know someone that did though. And as soon as I seen it, I went, ooh, they were making a big deal about it. I'll shut up now. Okay, I don't see your post about the discount for call, and I followed you on bandlab. Do you have to add? I just signed up and decided to download and try out Cakewalk. Oh yeah, the discount code, it's actually not really a code at all, but it's on the HSS collab group, and it's at the top in the featured section. Yes, it is on a Facebook. Oh, okay. If you don't have Facebook, then I can get you that link here. And then we can set up a time whenever is good for you. Oops. That's not the right link. There we go. Okay, so if you're still in the chat and you're wanting to take advantage of there's only 1 day left right now. If you want to take advantage of the flash sale that's going on right now for a one-on-one Skype call for $35 instead of the usual $50. I went ahead and posted a link in the chat right now if you'd like to sign up for one, and we will get that scheduled in as soon as possible. Those are always a good time too. Tim Consley says it's hard to get records to play in the car. Yeah. Luke says, what happens if I made it to the very last song of the album? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to choose a new album or start at track 1? That's up to you, buddy. Ronnie Houston says, I love vinyl way more than CD. I have to agree. I do too. It's not just the sound. I think it's just the fact that it reminds me of so many good memories. When I use vinyl, it feels like an event, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But EP can have 4 to 6 tracks. And to what Tom Dupree said, he said that an album can also be 6 or 7 or more tracks, and also have to be 30 or more minutes too. Yeah. Why you should be releasing singles on Spotify, not EPs or full-length albums. This is another YouTube video to check it out too. Awesome. Mighty Cassup says, so I use Pro Tools and Logic. I use Logic for a lot of production and Pro Tools for mixing and mastering. Is it wise to learn both, or should I just master one? That's a great question. So what I always suggest for individuals is to find one tool and to master that tool and to know the ins and outs of it. Because honestly, what I would see from what you're saying, you kind of know the production side of Logic, and that works out for you, but your mixing and mastering is through Pro Tools. So I would actually try to maybe even start mixing and mastering through Logic, because you can use the same plugins that you could use in Pro Tools. So that would be the easier route, would be to just get everything over to Logic versus trying to learn production skills in Pro Tools. You can do both in either one. Now, with that being said, however, if you prefer using both of them and you still have a good workflow and it's not impeding your creativity in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and stick with both. There's no rules to this, really. I just always try to point individuals to the easiest route to success, and that would be to find that one tool, that one DAW, and that's really all a DAW is a tool, and just use it and learn it. And that's where that would kind of get confusing for me, because Logic would have different keyboard shortcuts, whereas Pro Tools would have different keyboard shortcuts, and the workflows are going to be different. So it would kind of be counterintuitive for me to do that. But however, if you're doing it and you're doing it well, it doesn't matter what I think. So that one's honestly up to you. But I would definitely say that you'll be fine if you just use Logic only. Yes, I actually did, and I have her on the schedule. Mark, let me see. If everything goes through, I have her on the schedule for December 7th. So, and if any of you are ever wondering, I don't update it quite as much as I should. I need to update it more often. But if you go to the website, 𝗏𝗏studio_simplified.com, you'll see a tab up here that's called Events. If you click on this, it'll actually take you to a Google Calendar that you can actually save this calendar to your phone. You can take it with you, and every time I put in something here, it'll automatically update you when that's going to take place. So as you can see right here, we have our second Rocket Fuel bundle session is coming up the 27th. For those that are involved in that, you can see here on next month is looking like a hopping month. We're going to have an interview with Chris Bradley from Produce Like a Boss. She's such an awesome soul. And then we're going to have Sarah Carter the 7th, and she's going to be having a course releasing on the Pro Mix Academy on the 10th. So we're going to try to get her on here on the 7th to sort of get a little bit of extra eyes on her before she releases that course to help her out. And then I'm also going to be having an interview soon. This says it's going to take place on the 10th, but that's actually just a follow-up to see if the 10th is going to work. It may not be the 10th. It might be at a later date. But Rich Rinkin is going to come on the show as well. And he is the guitar tech, or the guitar, what was he? He's like the head of guitar master or whatever, that worked with Actually, let me find him real quick. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Where is he? Okay, so he is the general manager of James Tyler Guitars. So for those of you who are not familiar with Tyler Guitars, these James Tyler Guitars, he actually reached out to me because he heard the Billie Jean breakdown, and he heard that guitar. That guitar that was used in Billie Jean was a James Tyler guitar that was modded. That's why it had that sound, that real spanky, funky sound. And so immediately he heard that. He was like, wow, dude, he reached out and said, thank you for doing the videos. Did you know this was a James Tyler guitar? I'm the general manager. I'd like to commend you on this. And I said, hey, why don't you come on the show and let's talk these guitars. Let's talk, you know, I mean, who doesn't like to talk guitars? So I'm going to be bringing him on hopefully pretty soon. That'll be super fun. Likewise, if you're here on the website, you'll also notice I have a reverb and delay calculator, which is very handy for mixing and mastering. More so for mixing, I should say. And also there is, through IK Multimedia right now, you can pre-order the Fame Studio Reverb that's going to be coming out soon. You can pre-order it for $20 cheaper by using this link here. Fame Studios is like, that's where it was happening. Motown. Yeah, there's all kinds of Fame Studios is where it was happening. But yeah, that's coming out soon. The other thing is, if you didn't know about it, you can find the podcast here as well. And you don't have to have an iTunes account to listen. So you can listen right off the website. And then in the product section, you'll see that I have some various products for sale here. This explains a little bit about my services. Gives you the access to the other website, which is actually my studio's website. And then I talk about gear on this page. These are affiliate links, but this page displays a bunch of gear that I would recommend, or at least it did. For whatever reason, it's not now. Oh, that's because it's still loading. Buffering. There's also some helpful things here on the side panel. If you go down through here, you can get a free step-by-step video course, my 15-step mixing guide, Room Acoustic Simplified. I also have some cool web resources, including some free VST for free VST effects here, VST Planet, VST Warehouse, some nice little freebies here, as well as some good help for noise that might be coming through on the audio side of things. And evidently I'm going to have to update this page because it's not showing my gear recommendations for some reason. Yeah, then we have our support page where you can sign up for the Patreon membership, the YouTube membership, or you can just do like a one-time donation here. I also have a store where you can purchase shirts, cups with the Home Studio Simplified whatnot on there. All right, well, that was your shameless promotion. Sorry, guys. I went down a rabbit hole there for a minute. Let me see if I'm missing any questions here. Greetings from Chile. Nice. Good to have you, Don. And I believe it's a newcomer. Obviously, the channels for making beats are out there, but I think I'm going to stick with FL Studio until Cakewalk updates the piano roll and step sequencer. Yeah, that's totally up to you, man. Mokier says, congrats on 17.5 subs. Will it be a 20K or a 25K party? I think we were waiting until 25. However, if it keeps growing at the rapid pace that it's growing, I don't know if I'll have time to put something together that fast. So I might have to wait until 50. I hope not. You never know. I might have some people reach out to me and we could throw something together. But that's the thing. I don't I don't want to just throw something together. I want to really plan it and make it a fun event. So we shall see, though. I also don't want to inhibit the growth here because it's definitely nice. What's the difference between a remaster versus a remix? So a remaster essentially takes an older song, like they've just recently remastered all of the Beach Boys songs. They take older songs that have been mastered in studios of yesteryear, and then they remaster them to bring them up to industry standards today, to sort of open up things in that master that may have disappeared in the previous, like with all the old gear and stuff. And also, if they're ordering a remaster and a lot of that old gear is not around anymore, it's a lot easier then for them to be able to master that in a digital realm. So now a remix, however, is taking a song that has, you know, verse, chorus, bridge, and it has a certain defined path, and that's that song. And then you're taking and chopping that song up. You're adding in different elements. You're adding in different chord progressions. Sometimes you're maybe just taking one phrase from that, and then doing something like, if Eminem was sort of the one who took that that song, what was it? The Aerosmith song Dream On, and added that in one of his songs. That's the first one that popped in my head for some reason. So that's what a remix is. Do an interview with Mark. I would love to do an interview with Mark, actually, if Mark is up for it. That's the thing. Can I import an MP3 track like an instrumental and my vocals only and mix it to be a quality track? Yes and no. And it would depend on how good of quality the MP3 track is and how it was exported. If it was exported at like 96 kbps sample and the sample rates matched up, you know, but if it was already exported at a lower bit rate or sample rate, it's going to be hard to get that to sound good whenever you re-export it yet again. But I have worked on several rap albums, or I should say rap singles, where it is literally just 2 tracks. It's their vocals and the beat that they have pre-made for them. And you can get those to sound very professional. But usually the beat that they give me is a WAV file, because that's your highest fidelity. That's your highest fidelity. What is a reissue of an album? So that's usually whenever they have like let's say, for instance, the Beatles released the White Album, and then, you know, 20 years later they want to reamp that and kind of get that out there for everyone to hear again. They will do a reissue of that album. Maybe it currently wasn't in stores anymore, it was hard to find. They'll do a reissue of the album. Can an EP be 30 or under minutes too? Yeah, absolutely. It's totally up to you. To follow up to your reply, do you think there are better Cakewalk channels than your own? Yeah, I do. Especially it depends too on what you're doing. Like if you're beat making, this is not the channel for you. I mean, I'm sorry. I can try to help you as much as I possibly can. That's usually why I bring on other individuals who do beat making, and I have them on the channel to discuss that. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was one of them. I had 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on here. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was on here. Every one of them talked about beat making and how they use Cakewalk to do that with. They have absolutely no problem doing it. They actually 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, both 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 knocked a beat out live right here in front of everybody in, you know, under 30 minutes. So I don't ever want to make that claim that I'm the best Cakewalk channel there is out there. I don't think I am. So as far as, are there bigger Cakewalk channels than me? Yes. As far as, are they helping people? I hope so. That's the main thing. Mark George says, oh, good grief, no. Remaster is bring the music up to date with current standards. Yeah, that's a really quick, that was a quicker answer. I should have just read that first. There are a few others, but Robert is the best for mixing and Cakewalk use. Oh, thank you so much. That is truly subjective, though. How can I get that skin? That blue is perfect. So this is actually included in the membership here on the channel at any tier. So if you join the membership, you'll get access to both this skin and the HSS Sheen theme skin. Luke Roberts, man, he is asking these questions about the albums. What's the difference between a standard album versus a deluxe album? Like One Direction 4 had 12 tracks, while the bonus track featured 16 tracks. I think that's really just marketing. You know, the marketers, the label and everyone, they agree on how they're going to market that band. And sometimes they have bonus tracks. Sometimes they'll have, you know, featured artists on certain tracks. Sometimes they even have hidden tracks. I used to love that in CDs. And I think even some records had that as well. Even some tapes back in the day had that. I remember the Nirvana album was one of the first ones where I had let it play too long on the CD, and all of a sudden this extra song came on. I was like, wait, what? There's another song on here. And then I started looking for them all over the place. I found one on Green Day, and then yeah, that was always a fun time, though. Tim Consley says, love talking guitars. Of course. You should use the DAW that feels the most natural to you, my friend. Exactly. Mark George, your production knowledge would be useful for me. Love your stuff, man. That's so nice. You guys are awesome around here. I think I'm missing like a whole lot of questions. I'm far behind here. My main DAW of choice is Studio One 5 Pro, but since following Robert's channel, I've decided to give Cakewalk a try, as you can never learn enough DAWs. Yeah, you can. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole of learning too many things that don't keep you creative. If you're wanting to dabble with it, that's fine. But if it at any time starts to take away from making music, then you might want to back off. All I know I learned from Rob. My mixes were awful till I started listening to Rob. Oh, that's not true. You had some good mixes. Don't lie to yourself. I do appreciate that, though. Yeah, I'm upset Studio One sold out to Fender. Yeah, that's kind of scary, especially in the Cakewalk world when we were sold out to Gibson and then Gibson sold us down the river. That's why you are a music channel in my house, East Opinion would say. If you were around in the 80s, you would know all about remixes. Oh yeah, definitely. Doughboy, they merged forces, but each is still its own entity, as that was one of my concerns, but that was a verdict I was told. I've used everything as far as DAWs. My all-time favorite was Adobe Audition. Yeah, that's actually got some good stuff in it. I love M&M's. Nice. I do too. Definitely made huge, perfect sense. Good deal. 1:35 a.m. Oh my goodness. Go to bed, brother. Robert, for your Rocket Fuel course, your collab should be a rap song. Would be funny. I actually have a rap song. Well, I mean, I don't have a rap song. I'm featured on a rap song, so. I'm an audio engineer. The band REM actually remastered Monster, but Scott Litt actually remixed the album for the 25th anniversary for Monster. What is the difference between a demo versus a final recording, and does a demo and the final recording, are they the same or different, like U2, 𝗟𝗆𝗍𝗵𝘃 did Kindergarten, 𝗟𝗆𝗍𝗵𝘃, So, to answer your question, a demo versus a final recording. So the demo is literally like what we would entitle a scratch track. So it'd be like a scratch vocal. Like, for instance, the first project that I opened here tonight, that was more or less a demo. That was just ideas that I put down into the DAW so I could go back and listen to them and build off of them. But it was not the finished product. The finished product was actually a separate session where I then used and built off of those ideas, and then used the proper mics, used the sounds that I was looking for, and built off of that. So to answer your question, a demo versus a final track would be the final recording is the one that gets sent out to people, whereas the demo is the one that gets sent to the producer and says, here, what can we do with this? All right. I think we actually answered one, if not all, of the questions. Woo. Good deal. Let's give some shout outs while we're here. These are all the most recent subscribers, as well as it looks like we got some more Luke Skywalker subscribed. Nice. We got Jedis on this channel, y'all. Good night. Look at all of these pledges. I mean, it's a good problem to have, I guess. I'm gonna have to get a bigger board and start adding these people. So as you can see, there's some more individuals who have pledged through the monthly Patreon membership. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel while we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to spin the wheel of awesomeness. That's right. When I spin the wheel, it's a big deal. That's right. Wouldn't mind hearing 𝗬𝐶ie rapping. Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? All right, let's go ahead and do what we know to do around here. Whenever you spin the wheel, wherever that wheel lands, that's what we do. So I just got to figure out a way to get this over here so I can spin it, because right now it's being weird. There we go. It's wanting me to... That's not going to work. All right, so give me a moment here. I got to find the proper place to spin the wheel. That used to work seamlessly, and now it doesn't anymore. That's usually what happens whenever you update things and you got a million other things that need updated, but none of them play well together, and then you have all kinds of cool stuff happen. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spin the wheel of awesomeness. Whatever the wheel lands on, that's what we're going to do. All right, we got a song feature, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds super cool. So, how are we going to do this? Let's go ahead and... Yeah, I know how we'll do it. Okay. So, first let me get this scene fixed, because it's driving me nuts that I can't just immediately click on this and it goes straight to the wheel. Let's see if that fixed it. Survey says yes. Yes, it did. It's now going to allow me to spin the wheel right from my screen here again. Okay, anyway. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to open up a giveaway of sorts, and that giveaway is going to be a song feature. So, for those of you who were here for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway, you'll know a little bit about how this works. If you're new here and you're like, what's he talking about? It's super simple. I'll walk you through this. But essentially, what we're going to do is, let's retitle this one Song Feature. Okay. Going to click save on that, and then okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the giveaway. It's going to give you 3 minutes to enter the giveaway. And like I said, this giveaway is a song feature. All you have to do is enter !song, all one word, and the word song is lowercase. All right, we got Mob the Gamer. He's in like Flynn. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you'd like to enter, all you have to do is enter in exactly what Mob just entered in there. !song. That will put you in the drawing to win a song giveaway, or a song feature here on the channel. Jeremiah Peterson, hey, what's up, buddy? You just came in the middle of a giveaway. If you'd like to have a song featured here on the channel, go ahead and hit !song like those in the chat are putting in there, and you'll be able to enter the giveaway. And while we're doing that, we're all just hanging out here, buddy. It's nothing too crazy going on tonight. Just answering questions, hanging out, and getting requests to sing. The darkness of this present hour is ever looming. The pressure to perform is all-consuming. We bare our souls just to get a light and filter out these scars inside. Remember to subscribe and follow me. Tired of this numbers game, just to see who's winning. Pursuing shallow fame seems so unforgiving. You follow you follow me to the depths of depravity, where words hold no weight and there is no gravity. The sickness that this world is going through has opened up my eyes to see the truth. And when you find that I have nothing left to give, and then you act as if I have never lived, I'm alive. I think it's finally time that I peel back this curtain. Can you handle the big reveal, though I'm quite uncertain? Maybe if I give enough, maybe I can buy your love. Turning my candle at both ends, and I'm aware of the sickness that this world is going through has opened up my eyes to see the truth. And when you find that I have nothing left to give, and then you act as if I have never lived, but I'm alive. I'm still alive. Talk is cheap, so give me change. That's all I'll need to make this whole burden of what you say will be enough to make me fall before the idol that this world is raised in ignorance. I'll boldly stand for what is right and keep on walking in the light. When I have thrown my fight over and my conscience clean before my death, I'll raise my voice in victory, 'cause pride has not defeated me. There's a world to love outside yourself, and a life to live with someone else. The sickness that this world is going through has opened up my eyes to see the truth. When you find that I have nothing left to give, then you act as if I have never lived. I think it's finally time that I peel back this curtain. Wow, that was struggling. I was struggling to remember my own words, struggling to sing that. Man alive. I gave it the old college try though, Mob. He has been bugging me now for, well, ever since I can remember. Dude, sing a song live. Dude, sing a song live. And I always just ignore the comments. I'm like, no. But That's fine. We're having some fun here tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and get back over onto the chat. Well, that's good. I would definitely categorize that as a Christian song, yes. It's just more of an alternative style of Christian song because it's not straight up like in your face Christian song. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this here on the screen so you guys can see this, and you still can't see that. Here we go. And the winner is, my goodness, Mob the Gamer. It's not that Mob can't win, but it's like Mob always wins. Okay. All right, Mob. So you get yourself a song feature here on the channel. Whenever you're ready, you can just send that bad boy over. What's up, X8? Looks like we got a newcomer in the stream. Let's give him a big round of applause. I think DJ Big Red 81 is yeah, I knew it. He was going to say something about it being rigged. I'm really thinking you need to play the lottery, man. I'm not a big fan of the lottery. I don't play myself, but I would definitely, if there's anybody that should be playing, it's you, because you win everything, it seems like. So, all right, guys, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this edition of Q&A. Thank you all so much for showing up. I greatly appreciate that. If you're just coming on now and you're like, oh no, what did I miss? You can always go back and watch this later. For some reason or another, the chat has not been showing up whenever people go back and watch. I'm not sure why. I've been trying to figure out why. I don't edit the live streams, which normally if you edit the live stream, it removes the chat. But if you don't edit it, it's supposed to leave the chat there. So I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm going to try to reach out and do a little bit of research and find out why. But hopefully, oh, thank you, 𝗬𝗏𝗍 𝗂𝗏 for subscribing. And here we were just talking about tapes. Look at that. There's an old tape right there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for showing up. Remember to keep in touch here on the channel as well, because we're going to be doing some really cool stuff here in the near future, other than hopefully soon doing a 25,000 subscriber celebration. We're now at 18,167. My goodness, it just keeps climbing. But yeah, if you guys have any questions in between then, you can always reach out at homestudiosimplified@gmail.com. Definitely be sure to join that Facebook group that I posted here in the chat earlier. Thank you, David Broussard, for subscribing. And by joining that group, you'll also have access to ask any kind of questions you would like there as well, any time of the day. And individuals who are in the chat or in that group can also help to answer those questions as well if I can't get to it. So have a great night tonight. Thank you, Rob. Love to you and your family. Be safe and happy, everyone. Well, thank you too, man. I love you too. Love each and every one of you. Hope you all have a blessed rest of the evening. I'm going to go ahead and hop off here and try to get this Michael Jackson video uploaded. Hopefully you guys will find that interesting. Remember, for those of you that are here in the chat, you're going to be the first to know. So, Blood on the Dance Floor will be coming out soon. Lord, I hope so. I've been trying to get this thing exported all day long, so hopefully it'll work out for me this time. But all right, guys, love each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. Be sure to share this channel as well. Let's get to that 25,000 mark even quicker. Let's shoot for 100. Why not? In fact, I'll tell you what. If we can get 100,000 subscribers by the end of next year, when I get that silver plaque, we're going to have a silver plaque ceremony. Lord only knows what that's going to consist of. And I might even reach out to you guys, Patreon members, and say, you're going to help plan some of it. So you're going to plan some of the happenings that'll happen. So, hey, MJJ's Creation Channel. Awesome. You're going to be happy to know, buddy, that I am trying. I've been saying this forever now on this stream. I'm still trying to export a 33-minute long breakdown of Blood on the Dance Floor. It's going to be a cool video, I hope, if I can ever get it exported. It's crashed on my computer now 3 times. So at any rate, you all have a great night. I love each and every one of you. Yet again, I know I keep saying that, but I mean it. So until next time, guys, remember, we can dream alone. We can even create alone.